Alright, 2011 and 2012 Ford Explorer with the power rear fold seats. Uh, if you have one of these, you know that these switches, if you touch them, in the car, in the whatever you have in the seats is going to fold up or fold down. So I wanted to fix it that look stock as much as possible. So you notice that my switches don't work. And the reason being is that I put a switch in there. Now this is the second switch that I had. The first one is right here, and it looks better. Unfortunately, I soldered the wires on, and it melted the inside of the switch, so it stays on constant. And Radio Shack didn't have this same style of switch. And in an effort to make the thing work, I got this one, which is just the same the same dimensions, except for this isn't illuminated. Obviously this isn't, I don't have it illuminated, and the reason why, this board in here, the connector, basically has 4 wires. None of these are powered. They're all, there's either there's probably a ground signal that comes from the switch down to a circuit board or another set of relays. So there are 3 wires along the top and 1 in the corner of the connector. The one in the corner of the connector, if you disconnect that, none of the switches will work at all, regardless of position or anything. With the switch, move this out of the way. With the switch on, now I should have folding seats. No problem. One other thing with this switch mod is that the power fold seats will only work if you have either the car running or accessory on. Now that is a change. Not certain if I messed something up, but they still work, and we've already bumped them several times, and I didn't want that. And also note that you lose the cigarette lighter. Now there are 2 options for this. First thing is the plastic ring that holds the cigarette lighter in. I used the factory one. I removed the metal liner out of that and used the factory plastic. Now it has to be shaved just a little bit to fit this switch here. So what I'm getting at is you can modify like this, and the cover doesn't quite close all the way, but it's perfectly fine. Looks good. You could add the cigarette lighter up here somewhere if you wanted to drill a hole. I don't ever use power back here. I have my hobby stuff. I have a generator that goes with me, but the power cable is right there. So if I ever wanted to return it to stock, I guess since I had to modify this, I could just buy a new cigarette lighter, from Ford and connect it back up. So, but the hardest part is getting this plastic piece out of this trim panel, and also getting the whole thing out of this thing. I accidentally broke the tabs on the top. It's one of those things when you don't know how it comes apart for the first time, but it goes back in there just fine. So there's my switch in the off position, and you'll note that it doesn't do anything regardless, like it's supposed to. And you have the car in accessory. Flip the switch on, and either one, it doesn't matter, but it works fine. So that's how I did it. And once they're up, switch off, again, nothing. And just to prove that they work as advertised, let's just do the left one there, and it's folding down. So it is what it is. I think it works well. I don't have to worry about it getting stuff bumped into it. So that's what I did. Switch off, cover down, and that's it.